Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. First things first, shout out to God, the man upstairs. Thank you, the Rich Gang family, for coming through. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. And anybody who wants to join the Rich Gang family, be sure to turn on post notifications. Drop a like button as well as leave a comment down below if you are new to the channel, coming through for the very first time. So today, I got the best lockdown defender build in all of current gen. I just dropped the top 5 best lockdown defender builds on next gen. So if you want to go ahead and check out that video, I most definitely will leave it for you at the end of this one. But now let's go ahead and get into the making of this build. We're going to go ahead and start out of the shooting guard position. Then when it comes down to the pie chart, now we got some really good options to pick from. You can go with more shooting than defensive or more defensive than shooting, but why not go split right down the middle with the shooting as well as the defensive one? But the thing here is, when it comes down to the physical profile, you have two different options to pick from. If you want the 98 speed when this build is all maxed out, when it's all said and done, go ahead and pick the very first one. But for me, I'm going to go with the one that gets a huge boost on the vertical. So you can go with the fourth one. I'm telling you, this is definitely one that I would consider because of the boost that we do get on the vertical, but how it's going to help out on the defensive end all around. Now, this is just my personal preference. Either way, the build name comes out to the same exact thing. It really just comes down to the physicals, but the batch counts, when it comes down to the attributes, everything is going to remain the same for each version of that build. So let's go ahead and get started with the finishing on this one. I'm going to go with a close shot of 84, driving layup of 77, 73 driving dunk with a 38 standing dunk. And we're going to be able to maintain 3 finishing badges on this build, which is going to work out perfect. That is all that we need. Now, let's go ahead and get into the shooting. Remember, this category is going to be able to get Hall of Fame badges. So, for the mid-range shot, I'm going with an 83. For the three-pointer, we're going to go with an 80. As for the free throw, we're going to put this to an 88. And then finally, for that post fade, just for badge purposes, I'm going to go with the 67. And right there, 19 badges, y'all. Now let's go ahead and move on to the playmaking, but we're going to save that for last. Let's go ahead and get into the defensive end. Right here, I'm going to go with the perimeter defense of 85. Lateral quickness, going to match up to the same exact thing. As for the steal, I'm going to go with the 91. Then move on to the defensive rebound. I'm going to hit y'all with the 73. Then with the block, for badge purposes as well, I'm going to put this up to a 46. And then right there, we're going to be able to also get 19 defensive badges. Now, 66 remaining attributes upgrade left over. I'm going to go ahead and say, put all of this into the playmaking side of the ball. Really, it's going to make a huge difference and make the build just that much more versatile. So as you can see so far, a 75 ball handle paired up with a 77 pass accuracy. Now, if you want to, you can definitely go ahead and make any type of adjustment you want to on this build. It just comes down to your personal preference, what you want to change, as well as if you even want the same build name that I'm bringing to y'all. But as you can see with the body shape, I'm going to go with builds, and as you can see, yes, we are using the metric system again. If you don't know how to change it, all you got to go ahead and do is go into your settings, then go from the units of measurement from the imperial system to the metric. Now, when it comes down to the height, I'm going to go with 1.94 meters. That's going to be perfect and allow us to hit that threshold of a 76 ball handle, because once we do get to 99 overall, pro dribble moves will be unlocked. Now, for the weight, I'm going to go with 80 kilograms, and then once it comes down to the wingspan, the perfect wingspan for this build to maintain the pro dribble moves as well as still get park dunks, go with 210 centimeters. And right here, this is pretty much what the build is going to be looking like. Remember, you get a +8 to your physicals, so your speed essentially will be a 94. Vertical gonna be in the high 90s as well, and the same thing can be said for your acceleration. Now we get the lockdown takeover. shot creating, sharpshooting with the slashing, which is going to allow you to get contact dunks on this lockdown defender build, but then you can break ankles as well as still be able to get the shooting boost out of the shot creating takeover. Really something to consider. Again, this all just comes down to what you want to do. This is the takeover I'm picking, and as y'all can see, we have made the best perimeter lockdown build in all of NBA 2K22 on current gen, and I really like the comparison of Klay Thompson, y'all. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what this build is going to be looking like once we max it out completely, but also add boost, get to 99 overall, and run with teammates that do have floor general and Hall of Fame as well as defensive leader. So, with all that being taken into account, we get a plus 12 to each area of this build. So essentially, you're going to be able to get into the 90s for the close shot, high 80s for the driving layup, and the same exact thing can be said for the driving dunk. When it comes down to the mid-range shot with that shot creating takeover, you're going to be able to get a 99 here. 3-point shot's going to be in the high 90s. And then for that free throw, this is going to be 99 with a post fade that's going to be in the 80s. And remember, at 99 overall for the playmaking, we will get pro dribble moves. Then also, if you did pick that defensive lockdown takeover, you'll be able to get a 99 perimeter defense, 99 lateral quickness, 99 steal, and that defensive rebound is going to go somewhere up to the high 80s. Now, remember, you can always make your own changes to also get the contact dunks on this build. If you did go with the slashing takeover, going to make this build just that much more versatile when it comes down to the offensive end. That's something that I really like about it and something that you should consider as well. Let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the badges. Now, one that I would consider if you did pick the slashing takeover, go with gold posterizer, but if you did not, I would spread the wealth with bronze posterizer, limitless takeoff, as well as fearless finisher, just to get these badges activated to help you out on the finishing of the inside. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next category, going to be the playmaking. 10 badges that we're going to be able to work with here, and there's also a couple different setups that you can run with. So for me, I'm gonna go with gold handles for days, then also pair it up with quick chain on gold, and then you cannot forget about hyperdrive as well. As long as you have these 3 badges on gold, I really feel like you should be okay. But if you want to spread the wealth a little bit, you can definitely go about it that way as well. Now, this is just my preference, but I would go with bronze unpluckable over quick for step and triple threat juke. This is just the way that I see things, but if you feel like spreading the wealth, go ahead and change it to where you get 3 silver badges, and then you still get the gold handles for days. Bronze unpluckable, all of it's going to work out in your favor as long as you know what you're doing. Now let's go ahead and move on to the shooting badges. Remember, we are also able to get Hall of Fame badges in this category of the build. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the most important badges first. That's going to be Hot Zone Hunter as well as Sniper. Now, for the next 11, this all comes down to how you see yourself going about it. For me, I tend to like to spread the wealth when it comes down to, more importantly, the shooting out of any other category. For this build, I would go with Hall of Fame Deadeye. Then with the 7 remaining badges, this is where you can start to spread the wealth. So for me, I would also go with Blinders. Then for the next 3, you can even go with Bronze Corner Specialist, Bronze Green Machine, and then finally Bronze Volume Shooter. This is a really good setup as well, especially in any game mode that you take this build to. You're going to find success with these kind of badges. Now let's go ahead and move on to the defensive end. Another 19 badges that we're also going to be able to work with. So just be sure that you feel comfortable with the badges that you pick to put on. I'm going to go with Intimidator on Hall of Fame. Then for the next 15, you can really consider any of the badges that you'd like to run, but the essential ones are also going to be Clamps paired up with Intimidator. Now we have 11 more. For me, I would definitely have to say Rim Protector is going to be an essential badge on this build. These 3 right here are going to be good. Then also, even to throw on a Rebound Chaser, going to make it so much better for you on the defensive end for grabbing boards. Now, for the next 3, I'm going to spread the wealth a little bit with silver or gold chase down artists. But if you do go with silver, put on Bronze Interceptor. And this is the setup that I would be running with using this lockdown defender build. And as y'all can see, 19 defensive badges, 10 playmaking, 19 shooting with 3 finishing. And you do get pro dribble moves, and you're still able to get contact dunks depending on the takeover that you pick. But this is pretty much the build, man. I thank y'all to those of you who made it to the end. Go ahead and drop a comment if you did, as well as hit that like button. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Y'all most definitely know that I got y'all with the reply in the comments. I just want y'all to know also that I appreciate y'all, all of the love that y'all been bringing. I'm going to continue to drop every single day a banger at 3 p.m. Pacific timing. So be ready for that, West Coast, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank y'all, the Rich Gang. Thank God. And man, Rich out.